So have you ever wondered about the history of South African hip-hop remixes and what kind of impact each remix has had on the culture? I mean, collaboration is a very, very important part in growing in the industry. And what better ways to do that with your breakout song or your hit song featuring your idol or whoever you may have visioned on that track? So in this video, I am going to be breaking down what I think is the top 10 best remixes of all time, and I'm going to be giving you guys reasons and why I think this one is done more for the culture and whatnot. So I didn't script for this video, so there's a couple of things I need to look at on my laptop, so I'm going to keep on switching, but please bear with me. But other than that, let's get into the video, guys.
Think about South African hip-hop. Most of it is what?
Hip-hop is dying a slow death, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shout out to all the kids in the game radio.
And for you to tell me that you doesn't write most of the lyrics.
You know, I watched, I don't know who this guy Brando is saying.
I'm not the kid you remember from back in the day with an innocent image. Nah,
Hip-hop, nigga.
I'm giving orders, he not on my level. That nigga is just an apprentice.
Yeah, boy. Isn't that what they say? Hip-hop doggo.
Okay, so I'm not sure Guti age group lapho in the viewers ihamba kanjani ne, but if you guys remember Dubula by Gabo Mabalan, right? Upuga Love. You'd remember that this was a hit, right? This was a banger. I was young and my uncle was just playing Gabo Mabalan day in, day out, right? So that's how I know this. And if you guys remember, there was a remix, a 2.0 version, which was, I think, Slicker's song or whatever. I think they got the rights from Gabo or however that happened, right? But the remix is featuring Kwesta, JR, Proverb, aka, and if I'm not mistaken, Kulichana. All of these people that I've mentioned right now, let's look at where everyone is in their career, right? Kulichana, for me, I think he was the stepping stone and the foundation to the golden age of hip-hop, right? People like saying that a golden age, it got 2014. I think a golden age, it got Kulichana, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, aka, GOAT of South African hip-hop, Proverb, GOAT of the English rap, and whatever he's now in production, and he's just a big guy. JR, Feel Good Live Sessions, whatnot. Kwesta, probably the biggest artist in Africa. Everyone in this remix is big, and this is what a remix was meant to do. Now, I'm not saying that this is what put them on the map, but when we look back at remixes and we look at artists right now, we're supposed to be okay, this is what a remix should do. So I really think this was a stepping stone to what remixes should look like in South African hip-hop today. And if you ask me who killed it, Slicker. Slicker went, kill me, guys. Kill Ngulalen if you guys think Slicker didn't kill that. But Slicker went hard on that, bro.
Blowing up like paraffin in informal settlements.
Imagine a bunch of those rappers on the come up rapping like the Renters do in one studio. Can you imagine the competitiveness in there? Guno Kinen, the alter ego prime. Guno Proverb, Guno Kuli, Guno Kwesta when he used to do Anyway, guys, if you guys remember the Sean Pages era, the Sean Pages era was more of the collaborative era. Everyone was just collaborating, working together. You know, it was a very together moment. You know what I'm saying? Until the golden era, and then aka Casper Beef, yeah, that happened. But this was a very together moment in SA hip hop, and I don't have much to say about this remix, but I just remember it buzzing. I don't know, maybe buzzing to me and buzzing to other people is different, but I remember this remix buzzing. And at this time, Kwesta was the remix killer. He was the remix ghost for any remix you just find Kwesta on. And guess what? He gonna body bag you. This was the time he used to say, I don't know if you guys remember that. That nigga used to go, I don't know if you guys remember that. So next one, we got Reason featuring Ginger Trill, Doomy, Altido, and Monewa, No Sleep remix, right? And I don't know, guys, if you guys have songs that immediately take you back to the day that you were young, yeah. Reason has always been considered as a backpack rapper, you know what I'm saying? But for me, this song kind of broke him out of that. You know, it kind of showed me that, well, showed everyone, because I was young to understand what the hell is going on. but I think it showed everyone that he can be more musical. You know what I'm saying? He can include different sounds. Obviously, he had Monewa on the feature, who Monewa is like South African hip hop's Kerry Hilson. Altito in his prime with Glitz Gang. A lot of people think Altito's Ibari and all of that. Altito's a goat, guys. Altito's a goat. Altito had his time, and Altito was like prime Nasty C back in the day. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, what? Altito was prime Nasty C back in the day. Trust me, Glitz Gang was the. Trust me. And at this time, this happening, these people coming together, Tumi, who actually killed the song. Oh my God. Ginger Chill, second best verse, crazy. But these people coming together at that time, that was a very, very big moment for hip hop. And most of these moments are things that I can't explain the impact, but you just had to like be there for that impact. Like you just had to experience it. And as I'm saying, I was very young to actually understand what was going on, right? But when I look back and I re-listen to these songs, I'm just like, wow, right? This made me feel like this back then. Goats. I couldn't understand the impact that Zola 7 had, the impact that Amo had, the impact that Buckminster Salvin had, Ben Sharper had, right? But at this age that I am right now, I'm like, damn, shout out to those guys. So the next one on this list is N-Word Remix by Ice Prince featuring AKA. I know it's not a South African hip-hop remix, but it's featuring our GOATs, right? And I really think this song was very important for the culture, right? If you guys remember how this song made people feel.
Look how I put my city on the world map.
It's gonna take more than good luck to bring your girl back.
A hashtag, a retweet.
It kind of really like stretched the gates for the pause. But yeah, it stretched the gates for the Nigerian and South African hip hop collaboration type thing. You know, AKA has always been that guy who, you know, is very accommodating of our sound to Nigerian people, and they have been accommodating with their sound to AKA. So I really think that was like, you know, the opening gates. Not saying that there hasn't been songs that have done that in the past, but this one was like, yo, man, this nigga went to Nigeria, dropped the verse and killed that guy. After that guy said,
I kill every person, I kill every rapper that happens to be in the feature.
and then that nigga was like, look how I put my city on the world map. It's gonna take more than good luck to bring your girl back. Oh my God.
I'm at the airport, in my Air Force. The world put her legs by the head, boy.
So next on the list, we have Juice Back Remix and Roll Up Re-Up, right? And Roll Up Re-Up just explains my point for the last song that I put up. Stretches the hip-hop of Nigeria and, you know, South Africa, right? Who's on the feature there? AKA, again. But anyway, I'm putting these two at the same spot because they dropped at the same time, and I think they had kind of like the same kind of impact, right? And for me, right, that was the last time that I actually felt like, yes, this is a remix in SA hip hop. I don't know, maybe I'm alone, right? But this was the last time that I actually felt that was a really good remix. I think that was the last time we've had a remix that big besides Never Ride, right? And the impact that those two songs had, I mean, they had the two upcoming biggest newcomers in South African hip hop. They had two of the biggest artists who were going at each other in South African hip hop. They had two of the biggest Nigerian stars who were also going at each other in hip hop. It was crazy. It was a crazy moment. Again, you just had to be there.
These flashing lights will make you lose your focus.
That sometimes we can't explain impact. I don't think we can ever explain impact because I don't think impact amounts to views. I don't think impact amounts to stats or facts. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people would say that Kendrick has had more impact than Drake, but Drake has more numbers, Drake has more stats, Drake has more this, you know what I'm saying? But people would say that Kenny has had more impact. You know what I'm saying? Nasty C has more numbers, but people may say a Recess had more impact. So me trying to explain these songs based off like numbers and all of that won't make sense. But I really think that when these two songs dropped, bruh, like if you were there, you know what they did. You know how we felt. You know what I'm saying? And me putting it at this position, if you were there, you would agree with me. Fair? Fair. AKA's Baddest remix, which is featuring the females. So it's featuring Fifi Cooper, Rouge, Muesli, and Gigi Lamaine. How sad that he left his girlfriend out of the song, his future girlfriend. That's crazy. And at the time, I think Nadia was actually hurt at that, hey?
You really would have loved to be on that song, and it's really hurt your feelings not being on the song at the time.
Yeah, of course I would have loved to. I mean, he's an amazing artist, he's a huge artist, the song was massive.
Yeah.
And also
all the ladies there, and it's like, why am I not there?
Yeah, and I think I would have been okay with not being there, but I feel like the energy with the release and the energy from people on social media made it a problem
like that.
for me. It made it like that.
Okay.
So that's why it ended up even causing issues with some of the female rappers on the song, because I started picking up like subs and stuff, and I even sat down and spoke to Gigi about it, because Gigi and I, she had always been my sister at the beginning, and I felt like she handled that situation weirdly, and we sat down and we spoke, and I felt like this, and then she explained her perspective, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it was really fueled by the fans, and things that I misunderstood, but I felt like I trended on the day that song dropped, so I think they also felt like, she's not on the song, why are you guys talking about her? So it became really nasty and ugly, and I didn't like that, so I ended up removing myself from all of them. I'm just like, you know what, I'm not going to even entertain, because obviously there's a problem, I don't know what the issue is, and I just felt like I was really hurt about the whole situation.
I think she was hurt at that. She was hurt at the fact that AKA left off the Baddest remix. But anyway, Baddest remix could have been Buffalo Soldier, Ice Prince, it could have been a mad thing, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, nah, I'm gonna feature the females. You know what I'm saying? And for me, this opened the gates for the female rap, man. Didn't open the gates, but the gates were open, but then they closed again. But this was like kind of, because everyone out here, man, Fifi Cooper, she is like probably, I think, one of the highest selling female South African hip hop artists of all time. We have Rouge, who is like, for me, hands down, the best female rapper that we have ever had in this continent. Muesli, probably like the coolest I've ever seen. I'm not gonna rate her on her rapping, because I don't really think her rapping is like there, but I really think she's cool. I really think she's done a lot for the culture. She's done a lot with her presenting, and not just me saying this to like try and downplay her, but Muesli was very important to the culture. You know what I'm saying? She's the voice of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like most things that are being advertised, like Cotton Fest and all of that, she's the one advertising, it's her voice in the background. So literally, she's the voice of the culture. And then we have Gigi Lamaine, Don't want to say anything bad about Gigi Lamaine. I have my reason for that.
That shit was foul, that shit was wrong. And on another day, niggas die for shit like that. I could have tested your jaw right now because you tried to justify the shit.
But, man, this did a lot, bro. This really did a lot for South African hip-hop. I don't think people really, bumped this remix like that, right? But I remember when it came out, I gave it 2 listens. I personally didn't like it. Maybe because I thought, the original kind of overshadowed it or something, Angazi. But it had impact, bro. I really think this was very important for the culture. So I don't know if people are gonna agree with me with this one, but Skuta Baba remix, right? I know you guys are like, yo, how is it? Guys, everyone who was on that song, right, went up 600K monthly listeners, bro. They went up mad. It made Tony Diamond I think the youngest ever hip-hop artist to reach a specific number of monthly listeners or whatever, right? They all went mad, nigga. You had Boozy Lee or Buzzy Lee, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but you had Boozy Lee going crazy with the numbers, bro. Everyone was going crazy with the numbers. So I really think that did the most. And it built the bridge with piano and hip hop. Like it built the bridge the bridge has always been built, but it showed Amapiano that we don't mind your sound. Like we can also work with y'all. Also shown by the support that everyone in the nation just gave the song, well, just gave Casper's portion. Right? But it just showed the love that they gave. For me, I really think it was a very important part of the new wave. Let me say that for the new wave. And I know it's just, from the new wave, it's just Kane Keed, Tony Diamond, and Boozy Lee, but they went crazy, bro. Their numbers went crazy after that. Their Spotify numbers just went insane. So I really think this deserves to be on this position in the list. And I know it's too soon, guys. And yeah, a lot of people are gonna give me stick for this, bro. I know this for a fact, right? But trust me, give it time. Give it time, but it's gonna be an all-timer. Trust me. Most of these songs, right? I thought when I made this video, I was like, how am I gonna explain to people why this has had more impact? Why this has had this kind of impact? Why, you know what I'm saying? But like, they were just bangers, bro. They were just bangers. They were just.
We gotta be harder. Each bar is another advance to be legendary.
It's a situation of how it made me and the culture feel back then, right? And as I said, I don't know people's age group right there if you're watching, but if you're as old as me, then you know that it was a very, very great time for South African hip-hop when this came out, right? It was just that era, bro, and it was just the right time for Steve Kekana to drop. So I don't have much to say for this, but I'm really putting this like right there.
Yeah,
I miss it. I miss prime SA hip hop. But anyway, this song is important, man. This song is important. Should I say it was a national hit? Was this a national hit, guys? I think this was a national hit. I really think this was a national hit. Like it was national. For real. Like I don't want to lie. Also, Nadia on there as well. You know what I'm saying? Very like they were very accommodating to the people on the song. Like they just really got people to work together and all of that. It was a beautiful moment, man. It was a beautiful moment. I don't know how to explain to y'all impact, but Do It Like I Do, when it came out, it just went ham. It just went ham. And yeah, guys, that's all I can say about it, you know?
Who's on YouTube, they asking who you?
You guys just let me know in the comments if this wasn't like a national hit, right? But from like my understanding, I think, apologies, I think Do It Like I Do was like a national hit, but getting things out the way, I think Flabber killed it. I think Nadia came in too. I'm not gonna lie, I think Nadia actually went in. She went hard. Questa, Miss Prime, for me, that's Prime Questa, right? Dakar 2 Questa is not the Questa for me, but I think that Questa for me, that's Questa. The Questa used to body people on features and this and this and this. It just goes crazy, right? So again, I can't really explain the impact that this had, but this was a very, I'd say this was one of the first times that we had a big remix for SA hip hop. Like a very big remix. That's why I'm saying I think this was national. I think this was really national. Just let me know in the comments. But this was one of like the first big remixes for South African hip hop. So it definitely has to get on this list. Have Never Ride. And yeah, I mean, I know you guys are gonna kill me for putting this above Do It Like I Do, but why I think Never Ride is above Do It Like I Do is because I think it shaped the whole new wave, right? It really elevated a lot of people in their careers, right? This song was that song that put people where they needed to be in the industry. You know what I'm saying? It also happened at a time where South African hip hop was just teki. And for us to have that hit, which again, I think that hit was national. Again, I don't know, maybe I don't know the understanding of national, but I really think Never Right, especially the remix. Also the original. The original, I don't know, but it was kind of big. But the remix was kind of national, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But this song shaped the new wave. This song built the new wave. This song, yeah, man. Shout out to Never Right. But it was a very important song for the culture. And I appreciate Mash Beats for what he did there. We appreciate Mash Beats for what he did there.
I think we should put the turn up on hold.
Yeah, number one is Amantombazane remix. That is my order, my top 10. Sadly, I couldn't give you guys a video where I could clearly say that this had this numbers and all of that, because that's not how I judge impact. That's not how I judge certain things. I just judge things about me being there and what like OGs have told me about the experience about certain songs dropping. And it was it's my list, you feel me? So yeah,